America is a land of bright lights and broken dreams, a place that delights and inspires a hunger for fame. It's also a place that some people find hard to leave, even after death.
My name's Gail Porter and I'm a skeptic.
My name is Chris Fleming and I am a sensitive.
It's my mission to investigate alleged sightings and hauntings of Hollywood ghosts.
A sensitive can detect paranormal events beyond the range of the 5 senses.
I wouldn't say I'm a non-believer, but I'm definitely a skeptic.
Together, our mission is to investigate the dead famous. Our search for the spirit of Elvis Presley was to be centred on his hometown of Memphis. From the world-famous Sun Studios, where he recorded his first tracks.
God, he was really nervous the first time he sang.
To the house he shared with his beloved parents.
My body felt different in this room than any other room we've been in. Getting visions of corn stalks.
An investigation at the most haunted building in Tennessee.
I definitely feel something in here. What's wrong?
I don't like this room.
Give us a sign that you are here.
Chris!
Before finishing at the place where his life ended, Graceland.
I see Elvis.
What are you picking up?
Demented, twisted mind. I don't like this individual.
What is it?
No one is an icon as big as Elvis. People do not want to let go of this guy.
Elvis Presley was, quite simply, one of the most famous men ever born. Influenced by blues, country and gospel, he defined rock and roll in the 20th century. He performed this music with a hip-swiveling sexuality that made him a teen pin-up and a role model for millions. Elvis was repeatedly dismissed as a bad influence, yet the force of his music and the strength of his image have made an indelible imprint on popular culture.
He began his career with Sun Records in 1954. By 1956, he was an international sensation. He has sold over 1 billion records and appeared in 33 movies. He is as famous in death as he was in life.
Elvis died at his Graceland home on August 16, 1977. He left a world in mourning, but his legacy still lives on in his music, movies, and image. Will we make contact with the man they call the King, or has Elvis finally left the building?
The Elvis Presley story began here in this humble house in Tupelo, Mississippi in 1935. The beloved child of Vernon and Gladys, his twin brother Jesse died at birth, a loss that neither Elvis or his mother ever got over.
He was living for 2 people, and his mother was a firm believer that he was living for 2 people, and that's why he had this talent, this gift, this stamina and everything, because he was actually living for his brother that died at birth.
It was in Tupelo that Elvis got his first taste for music on a visit to the Tupelo hardware store with his mother on his 10th birthday.
Elvis came in here in 1945 with his mother, and they were looking to buy a bicycle. He spotted a .22 rifle hanging on that wall behind me, and Elvis decided he wanted the rifle. Well, his mother Gladys says, no, you're not going to have the rifle. So this gentleman right here, his name is Forrest Bobo. Mr. Bobo thought of something to kind of calm Elvis down. So there was a guitar on display. So Mr. Bobo opened the showcase, he pulled the guitar out, handed it to Elvis. We like to think that we played a huge part in the musical career of Elvis Presley.
But it was Memphis where I believed we had the best chance of connecting with the spirit of Elvis. The city is overflowing with Elvis associations. The famous Beale Street, where he spent much of his youth, the amusement park where he dated, the playhouse which he hired to watch movies in the dead of night, the Forest Hill Cemetery where his body was initially laid to rest, and most famously, Graceland. If Elvis was anywhere, surely he would be here.
If there's a hereafter, and there are spirits and ghosts, and I personally believe there are, if he were going to come back, it would definitely be someplace in Memphis.
Everybody knows something about Elvis Presley, but I wanted to find out more about the man behind the music. I sent Chris to speak with Bernard Lansky, the tailor who made some of Presley's most famous and flamboyant outfits, culminating in the suit he was buried in.
When did you first meet Elvis?
I met Elvis one day. He was walking down Bill Street looking in my window. I didn't know who he was. So one day I said, come on in, young man, can I show you around? So after I showed him around, I showed him my merchandise and everything, what we had in it. Boy, he said, this is fantastic. It's dynamite. He said, I don't have no money now. He said, when I get rich, I'll buy you out. I said, do me a favor, don't buy me. I just buy from me. So one day he came back and he said, Mr. Lansky, Mr. Lansky. I said, well, yeah, Elvis, what do you need? He said, I've got a contract with Ed Sullivan, Tommy Dawson, Jimmy Dawson. I'm going to New York. I got to be there Saturday. I'm going to be on television. I said, that's fantastic. He said, but I need some clothes. Man wanted something sharp, dynamite. He wanted to be #1. He said, I got a problem. I said, what's your problem? He said, I don't have no money. But anyway, I went on and gave it to him. But he never forgot me. He always come back. He paid. He always bought merchandise from me.
Now, when he first peeked in that window and he came in your store, what kind of man was he?
Shy, real shy and bashful. You know, broke that bashful look and things like that. Started to become a man.
Are there any special memories you have of Elvis?
He always come to the store, always want to see Mr. Lansky, Mr. Lansky. And I told Elvis, he walked in one day and said, Mr. Lansky. I said, Elvis, my father, Mr. Lansky. I'm Bernard. He said, thank you very much, Mr. Lansky.
You were responsible for the first suit that you put on him, and then you were responsible for the last one when he died. How do you feel about that?
Every day I remember Elvis, one of the greatest guys in the world. He made Memphis. He made Memphis what it is today. Elvis gone, but his memories are still good.
Elvis attended Humes High School in Memphis from the 7th to the 12th grade. It was here that a shy, timid boy from Tupelo gradually fashioned his own image. It was an important period in the creation of an icon, and I hoped a reunion with some of Elvis's classmates would give me an insight into the man, not the myth. Once a month, a group of former Hume students meet up at Anna's Steakhouse to trade stories of the great man they once knew.
Did you ever imagine that the Elvis that you knew at school would be one of the biggest stars that the world's ever seen?
No. Had no idea.
His family was obviously a very big part of his life. How important were they?
I think it was everything. He loved his mother beyond anything, you know, and of course being an old Southern boy, you know, that they love them boys, love them mamas, you know, and he really did.
And could you remember how you felt the day that you found out Elvis had died?
Well, I was working at the time and had a radio in a vehicle that I was driving, and they came on and said that he had died. And of course, you know, that's hard to believe. You don't want to believe people like that ever die, you know. People love Elvis. Almost beyond love, you know. It's almost used to almost be a religion, I think.
I wanted to start our investigation where Elvis had started his career, the world-famous Sun Studios run by Sam Phillips. In 1954, Elvis decided on an unusual birthday present for his beloved mother. He recorded a track at Sun Studios, and the rest is history. We met up with the tour guide, David Brookings, to find out more.
So what room is this, Dave?
Hey, this is Marion Keisker's office. This is, she was kind of like Sam Phillips' secretary.
So this would have been the first room that Elvis came into when he...
First room he would have seen, And she said, hi, how are you? And he said, I'm Elvis. I want to make a record. So he recorded My Happiness. She was very impressed with it. She burned a copy to play for Sam. He really initially wasn't impressed with it, but Elvis was a very persistent guy. He kept hanging around. He'd come around and want to see the other sessions, hang out with the other guys. He was signed to a 3-year deal, but he only stayed here 17 months. He left Sun in the middle of November of '55, and the rest is history, big time.
Can we go and take a little look in the studio?
Yeah.
Thanks. Is this pretty much how it was when Elvis was in here?
All of the room is original. These are the same floor tiles Mr. Phillips put in 1950.
Is there anything here that he used while he was doing his sessions?
None of the guitars or drums are original, but the microphone is.
How important do you think this place was to Elvis himself?
The sky was not the limit for him. He was a truck driver. He was very poor. He was an average student in school. He wasn't going to go off and become a biochemist or anything, so he knew what he owed to Sun.
Has any paranormal activity ever occurred in this place at all? Have you heard stories of anything?
Weird stuff? I've seen all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know how much is paranormal. Well, like, some people are crazy. You know that.
Right.
They're crazy out in England, too. And we have, anyway, just people that'll say things like they saw the ghost of Elvis, whether it was here or at Sun or Graceland. They say they've seen things. I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is paranormal, but I've never walked in a room before and felt an aura. If there's a such thing as negative energy, this place doesn't have it.
As night fell, I wondered if Chris would pick up any place memory inside, and if the spirit of the greatest rock and roller lived on within these walls.
Have you been feeling anything at all, Chris?
Yeah. I was putting my hands here just seeing if I could pick up anything. And because Dave was saying a lot about all the energy that's in here. Of course, it's got to be registered and stored in these walls. It definitely is.
What do you mean it's stored in the walls?
Anything that occurs can be recorded in an inanimate object. Not only that, attitude, emotions, personality can be absorbed.
How can you tell who's left the energy?
Well, that's the problem. I have to sift through it and try to figure out what's what. And who's who. Regarding Elvis, I mean, I get more Jerry Lee Lewis than I do Elvis.
I just find it difficult because obviously I just have to take your word for it every time you just go, well, I've just put my hand there and there's Jerry Lee Lewis. And for someone like me, that's very difficult.
What's your favorite fruit?
Strawberries.
Why?
Because I like the taste of them.
Why do you like the taste of them?
Because that's what I like.
Okay, but how do I know you really like strawberries?
Because I just told you.
Well, I just told you. I don't know that you like strawberries. You just told me you did.
I know, but
you believe you like strawberries.
No, because I put them in my mouth and my taste buds tell me.
Right.
So, but my
exactly. So your senses tell you.
No, that's
that
that's
like
taste.
Strawberries better than something.
Yeah, but
like.
you've got a sense that we don't have. That's what I'm trying to point.
That's the thing. You do have the sense. You just
well, then
don't
mine
know
doesn't
how to
work.
use it. You don't know. That's not true. Because we've been to certain places, we've become very sensitive since you've had things happen to you in previous investigations.
I'm just saying it's hard when you just put your hand on a
You
wall.
just haven't learned how to tone it yet, to tune it.
Okay.
Yet, to really develop it.
I'll
yet.
take your word
have.
for it.
Now, to get back to this, is I haven't felt anything else walking through here. I haven't felt any ghosts, any spirits that remain here. Okay. But when we came in here, over here, the spot that Elvis stood at. All right, sorry. I'm laughing because I just got this flow of emotion, as if it's a fragment of what he was feeling when he was here. Yeah, he stood right over here. But he did tend to move back a little bit when he wasn't singing. I think I removed it slightly to the side, but he was kind of shy, and then he would move up and he would sing. God, he was really nervous the first time he sang. I mean, we're talking like almost headache, sweating. What else? Sorry, that's all I'm getting.
The sun rose on the second day of our investigation into the spirit of Elvis Presley. We had started where his incredible career had begun, at Sun Studios. But the next step in our search was to take us into rare territory. A look behind the scenes of one of his homes.
It was a ranch-style house. It was very nice. Fireplace, big living room, formal dining room. The house had 3 bedrooms, and Mom and Dad stayed in the front bedroom, and Elvis had the big bedroom in the back. It was her the first home that she had. They had been living in public housing before that. And it was a lovely home.
Now, this is the house that he moved to when he first started to get really successful. And his mum, apparently, was at her happiest in this house. I don't know how relevant that would be for his spirit. Would it come back to somewhere where his mother was happy because she was such a big part of his life? What do you think?
Well, there could be some positive energy. There could be place memory here, too, which is either one. If I can pick any of that up, it's going to get us closer to understanding who Elvis was and who he is.
Elvis bought this house in Audubon Drive in 1956 after the success of his first singles and lived here with his parents. This was no heartbreak hotel for the Presley family. They lived here in domestic bliss for a year before moving to the more extravagant Graceland. I had arranged for us to meet current owners Mike Freeman and Cindy Hazen for a guided tour and a very personal insight into Elvis's early days here in the city he loved.
So how long have you had the house for?
Well, we've been here 6 years now.
Okay, and you were big Elvis fans before you bought the house?
Oh, yes. We used to do tours around Memphis, and we'd show the house from the outside. Now we can show it from the inside.
How many of the original features are still in the house?
Really quite a bit, and we were very surprised when we first moved in that so much of the house is unchanged from the 1950s. All right, now this room here has changed very little. Look at this photograph of the Presley household, and behind me is the same wall, same wood.
He was a very family-orientated man, wasn't he?
Yes, he tried to provide for his family as best as he could. I'm going to show you something very interesting here. It's one of our greatest discoveries.
Is it original?
Yes.
Oh, it's in great condition.
Someone had written Elvis in between the piano keys. And it was very funny, the end of the second night, we're sitting in the big game room, and it had been very tedious work, and we got a glass of wine and just sat down just to relax, and all of a sudden we looked over, and several of our pets were watching the hallway, and all of their heads were moving in the same direction, and we didn't see anything, but we thought that was quite interesting.
As if there was something here.
Yeah.
As we talked with Mike and Cindy, Chris felt pulled towards one room, Elvis's bedroom.
This is weird. My body feels different in this room than any other room we've been in.
Now, this room, we've had quite a bit of success in decorating, finding pieces that match what the Presleys had. For example, we found these ceramic pieces in another house in the city, and they're almost a match to what we see in the photographs. Probably one of the most interesting photographs we have is one everyone likes to shoot. There's Elvis in the old LeMay suit, standing right by the fireplace. Interesting photograph of Gladys. She's not smiling. She worried a lot, kept a lot of stress, and secretly she drank.
I'm absorbing whatever energy remains in this wall. My left hand's getting warm. What about Elvis? What about Elvis? Whoever you are, come forward, so I might be able to identify who you are. Who is it that occupies this home? Who is this spirit that lives here? Are you male or female?
So we actually have an autograph that was signed by Elvis at the front gate. The young boy who took the photograph was taking it for his mother, and he said in the letter that he was surprised he took such a good picture. I mean, for one, he was very young. And secondly, he was getting soaking wet from the water sprinkler in the next-door neighbor's yard.
That gives you an idea of what situation they had here towards the end of '56. There had really become too many people outside, and that explains why they moved to Graceland.
Hang on, I'm getting an emotion. I'm getting visions of corn stalks. Visions of a white picket fence and all these corn stalks. And I don't know if he was out picking corn or he was... I want to believe yes. I need to ask them about that. For some reason, I saw cornfields. Okay, I saw cornfields and a white picket fence. And does that make any sense?
Yes, come here. I'll show you. Right behind the swimming pool, that's the white picket fence, and that's Gladys's corn.
Oh my God. Did I not pick that up?
Cornfields and a white picket fence.
And I said for Mom, right? Picking it for Mom.
This photograph was taken by Alfred Wertheimer, and he's the one who told us that that was the corn.
Night fell over the Mississippi. We left Audubon Drive, and Chris's insight had left me curious. Could he really have made contact with the king? As the sun failed to warm up an uncharacteristically cold dawn in downtown Memphis, I still had a suspicious mind, so we set off to a place with a good connection to both Elvis and his mother, and allegedly the most haunted location in Tennessee. This large Victorian complex was home to the Tennessee Brewing Company. The building that remains today was erected in 1890 and is basically unchanged. It has lain dormant for over 40 years. But this abandoned brewery holds much more than just memories. Paranormal investigators at this property have witnessed strong temperature fluxes, odours that could not be explained, heard footsteps on staircases and whispers. Even more vital for our investigation was the brewery's connection to the Presley family. The company once made Goldcrest beer, one of Elvis's mother's favourite potions. We met up with Monica Orr, the current owner of the derelict and ominous building.
How long have you had this building for?
Since 1999.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And what inspired you to buy it?
Well, we wanted to save the building, keep it from being torn down because of its unique architecture and history.
We've heard that this place is paranormally active. Have you heard of any stories?
I've heard of lots of stories concerning this building. For one, the Memphis Paranormal Society comes here very often and studies the building. They have recorded noises, activity, and orbs. A friend of mine who's an independent filmmaker was making a movie, and there was a dog in this building that somehow got to the very top roof of the building, which is probably 8 stories, climbed up the stairs, was on the roof, and then later jumped off the building. Why would a dog jump off a building? So that was very bizarre. And then a friend of mine said he was in the parking lot across the street and he saw a figure in the window, a person, and he turned away, and when he did that, the windows started rattling, the window coverings. And so then he looked back and saw what he thought was a woman. So I asked him to come here today, but he was too scared to do so.
Chris, have you picked up anything since you've been here?
I felt definitely an evil spirit in here.
Evil?
Evil. Like, I don't want you here, okay? But I felt a female presence when I walked back down that corridor to where we were getting set up. I felt the female, so I felt a very malevolent force that was here. I felt some happy spirits in this room, and then I felt a female. So right now I've got about 3 things.
So you think this place might be pretty active?
Yeah.
So far, Chris had alleged place memory at Sun Studios.
God, he was really nervous the first time he sang.
And had an uncanny vision at one of Presley's former homes.
Getting visions of corn stalks.
But for sheer atmosphere and promise of paranormal mischief, the Tennessee Brewery had given me hope that tonight my skeptical stance may be challenged. We had arranged for the Memphis Paranormal Society to meet us at the vast and desolate brewery, a place they had explored many times previously, to give us some advice.
There's certain areas that you feel a positive energy, and there's others that you just absolutely don't feel like you want to be in that room at all.
Someone touched my shoulder, whisper in my ear.
Partial apparitions, full apparitions, lots of nice orb shots, lots of ecto.
You can hear voices. It's mostly whispering. We've heard laughing before. We've heard a lot of tapping too.
You always feel like somebody's watching you, and you get lots of orbs in every picture that you take.
There's a lot of different feelings in here, but there are a lot of spirits down here.
They were also lending us equipment to help in our investigation.
Mike and Ginger, you've got a lot of equipment laid out here on the table. Can you tell me some of the stuff that you're going to be using tonight?
You want to start?
We will be using your standard flashlight.
Okay.
This is our video camera.
And then we've got night vision here,
That's
right?
a military issue night vision scope.
Oh, excellent.
Those are fun to use in cemeteries.
Yeah, we haven't seen that before.
And this is one of our prized possessions. This is
supersonic ear.
Supersonic ear.
The sonic ear boosts your hearing with a powerful 50 decibels of sound gain and can pick up sounds from 300 feet away. It was a new piece of equipment for us to try, and one that I hoped would bring results.
We get to hear EVP with this.
So real time?
Yes, real time.
Real time.
Real time.
Oh, that's great. Where do you think we should start at?
Upstairs.
Upstairs.
And we've actually had communication in the room over, I guess, is that the 3rd floor?
3rd floor.
Third floor.
What kind of communication?
Knocking on windows.
On command.
Yes.
Armed with our equipment, we started our investigation by heading up the central staircase. Who or what was lurking amongst the shadows of the brewery? Could it be the man they called the King?
You know, Elvis pretty much enjoyed any place in Memphis where there was a good time to be had.
I would think he's probably somewhere around down here. I would definitely say he's somewhere down around here.
I don't think there's a place in Memphis that doesn't have Elvis somewhere in it. And I think that the brewery would be a perfect place for him to come and visit.
Where are we going? Where do we want to go?
Third floor.
Third floor. Ooh. Oh, some activity. Okay, we got to go up here. Come on. Something's up here. Gail, I feel it. I know you're here. Please speak to us. My heart's racing. Give us a sign that you are here.
Sorry.
I said for them, not you.
I didn't mean
Is the spirit that's present here right now, are you Elvis Presley?
What do you think you feel up here?
I'm still trying to absorb more of it to get
Can
an
you
idea.
figure out if it's a woman or a man?
Not yet, no.
What kind of energy is it?
It's not place memory. Okay, it's definitely a spirit. Kind of wants to be just left alone. Let's just keep moving. The ghost hunters gave me this like supersonic ears, you know, where it amplifies all the sound around us. You know how I get EVPs with my tape player? What this does, I can hear it real time.
What? Did you get something? Tell me what. Don't. Where is it?
Very quiet. Speak to me. What is your name?
Is someone speaking to you? I feel strange in this room.
Did you say here?
No. I don't like this room.
I heard here on this thing. Who is here? Speak to me now. What is your name? Speak to me so I can hear you and talk to you.
What is that noise? What is it?
No. Whatever it is, it's gone.
What's that high-pitched noise?
I heard that too.
Did you hear it twice?
Yeah, it's like a little bell that went ting.
Yeah.
But like tinkly bell type thing.
Yeah.
Are any of you spirits brave enough to come forward and speak to me? I'm not feeling anything.
There's like a blast of cold air that's coming up from down here. It's moving upward. Normally heat rises.
This is a creepy room. Isn't it?
I definitely feel something in here. Is there anybody else in here with us that we can't see? Speak to us now. Speak to me again. What's wrong?
Something just fell on my face.
Something fell on your face. Are you sure it was something that fell on your face or something that didn't touch your face?
I don't know. Maybe it's just dusty.
Did you hear that?
You're really bothered by that, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, you are. Did it come from up above?
Yeah, it's like that.
Did you see what it was?
No, I couldn't see anything.
Are you sure that it was something that fell? Maybe it was something that touched you.
No, it couldn't have been.
Why?
Because I don't believe that someone would touch me.
But Gail, it happens to the best of us.
Like something fell on me.
But there's nothing. I mean, there's little pieces here. Was it anything? You think that was it?
It's a piece of glass. I would have felt that.
Careful, don't cut yourself. Did someone in this room touch Gail's face? What was that?
I heard that.
Although the camera didn't pick up this scraping sound, both Chris and myself definitely heard it.
Tell you where I don't like.
What?
That corner over there. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know, it makes me feel strange.
What does it make you feel like?
It makes me feel like I want to get out of the room.
So you're obviously picking up something.
Or I could just be tired.
Well, which one is it?
I don't know.
Maybe you're getting sensitive.
No.
Yes.
Chris was placing doubts in my mind, and this added to my sense of unease and nervousness.
Wow. I got a really bright orb, Gail. How cool is this? How cool is this? It is in between the pipe scale and behind it slightly. Can't have a lens flare behind an object. So it was hiding. It's shy.
With such a huge area to investigate, we decided to separate. I headed for a tunnel that led to the basement.
Is there anyone in this room?
Are you still here?
I found a door and I think it leads to the tunnel. So I'm gonna go and walk down. The door just shut. Oh no. See if I can open this door. I don't know where I am in this building anymore. I'm completely lost. What was that noise? What was that noise? What was that noise? What was it? What was it? Hello? Is there someone up there? Chris? She says, do you smell something funny? Oh, I don't like it. It's horrible. What was that? Oh, there's somebody behind me. Chris! Chris!
Yeah,
Where are you now?
I'm up here.
I smelled biscuits. Door creaked and then I had to run up because I got scared.
From a door creaking.
Well, it might not, I don't know. It felt like someone was there. I felt like someone was there.
Where?
Go upstairs, go down the tunnel,
Okay.
2 lots of tunnel, into this big creepy room.
All right, well, I'll go look. What are you going to do?
I'll come with you. Chris!
Yeah.
Don't leave me. This is where we smelled the funny smell. What's that?
It's like the glass they used to make the bottles from. Is there anybody down here? I don't sense Elvis at all. Having a hard time even connecting with any spirits that are here.
Although neither of us felt any strong connections, it seems that someone on the other side was trying to get our attention.
Is there anybody down here? Is there anybody down here?
One of the problems with EVP is that you can only decipher them after the event. We think this EVP says, "Get help." We will never know who or what needed us, as Chris was no longer sensing any energy. We had already moved on, and I hoped for a better connection at our final destination. There was one place left for us to investigate: Graceland. Graceland is a fortress that does not allow filming, but that wasn't necessarily going to hamper our investigation into finding Elvis's ghost. Elvis died in his Graceland bathroom on August 16th, 1977. His death at the tragically young age of 42 left a world in mourning, with the somber knowledge that many people's lives would never be the same again.
When Elvis died, it left a big void, a black hole in the lives of so many millions of people.
My husband called me and he said he was on his way home, and so I put some ice on my eyes because they were swollen from crying so hard. I didn't want him to see how bad it affected me. And and he put his arms around me and he said, "It's okay if you cry, honey. I know how much you loved the man."
His body rests in the meditation garden within the mansion grounds, alongside his beloved mother. Would this building, a place of pilgrimage for Elvis fans across the world, be the place where we finally connected with the spirit of the King of Rock and Roll?
So that's it then, that's Graceland?
Yeah.
It's very close to the road. I thought it'd be miles away.
Oh, I know it is, isn't it?
But you've been here before?
Yeah, I was here before.
And what did you find when you were inside? Did you pick anything up?
Well, actually, I did. There's 3 places that I felt something. One was walking down a corridor. I kind of felt a drop, and that usually means that there's something traumatic, some type of trauma that happened right there. I couldn't really sense exactly what it was because we had to keep moving. There's areas in there that are blocked off that the public can't go through. So what I believe and what I was sensing is that his spirit is probably still there, okay? I couldn't tell for sure whether it was him or not, but I want to believe that it might be.
Well, the reason we've come here tonight at midnight is a lot of people have seen his ghost at the gates.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be worth you just having a wander around and see if you could pick anything up.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We crossed Elvis Presley Boulevard to investigate the gates, but we had no idea of the intensity of the EVPs we were about to record.
What are you picking up? Why are you smiling? What is it?
It's a convertible, tops down. I see Elvis sitting in a car. What I'm about to say, of course, is nothing new. All right, but you know when I kind of laughed, when I kind of giggled, was the excitement every time he came home. The excitement every time he pulled in here with his friends and everything, because he was able to share all that with them. You know, it's kind of that type of feeling, like, you know, even though this is mine and I got whatever I want, it wouldn't be fun unless I was able to share that with everybody, all right? And that's the feeling I get when he's in here with his 2 really good friends. It's basically saying, this is awesome. You know, this is what it's all about. That's the affirmation I'm getting with that place memory that's right here.
At this point, Chris believes he recorded the first of 3 intriguing and startling EVPs.
That's the affirmation I'm getting with that place memory that's right here.
It seems the voice, which is clearly not mine or Chris's, is saying, "I hate you."
What is it now?
All right, I'm picking up something right now. I'm picking up an emotion. I don't think it's attached to him, though. Someone used to stand out here.
Like a fan or something?
I'm thinking it's a crazed fan. Used to stand here and just wait and watch. I mean, I don't like the feeling I'm getting right now.
What is it?
Of what's standing here. It's making me sick. It's actually making me sick because it's a demented, twisted mind. I haven't figured out yet if it's an individual that wanted to cause harm, but I think it was someone that was really just obsessive, very obsessive. It's a thin man. I could draw a pretty good close rendering of what he looks like. Kind of bony, Adam's apple, glasses. I don't like this individual. I gotta move away from there.
Why?
Because I don't think his thoughts were very pure. I can't place exactly why. Does that mean, did he like kill people? Did he do this and that? I don't see that, but I see there's a possibility of that, a sense of schizophrenia, a sense of manic depression, but kind of hidden in, that he never really released.
This second EVP is particularly strange. What Chris has recorded are words that contradict what his mouth is saying when synced to the picture.
I gotta move away from there.
Why?
Because I don't...
The word that breaks through is sniper.
Away from there.
Why?
Because I don't...
Chris, do you think Elvis is still here?
You know, that's a really big question. I mean, from standing here, Gail, and trying to feel whether or not he's in there, I do feel a male spirit.
You do?
I feel male and female spirit.
So there's more than one
Oh, yeah, there's more than one.
presence here?
Definitely.
You can pick up someone in the house from here?
Well, here's the thing, all right? When you cross over, there's no such thing as time or space. Wherever you want to be, you're there. You can be in multiple places at the same time. I'm still attached to the physical realm. I still have to deal with time and space. They don't. So if I can make my mind believe that I'm no longer attached to that, I can try to reestablish that connection that we all have on the other side with our spirit, our true soul, our true self.
The third and final EVP we recorded is the most disturbing.
Spirit, our true soul, our true self. I can try to reestablish that connection that we all have on the other side with our spirit, our true soul, our true self.
After Chris has said the words true self, there seems to be a ghost-like plea. Help.
True self. Side with our spirit, our true soul, our true self.
Could that be the voice of Elvis?
But out of all the people that we have done investigations on, no one is an icon as big as Elvis. So I have to believe that because of that, he's still grounded here, he's still stuck here like Marilyn Monroe was. Everybody, Elvis lives. We drive by and we see billboards that say Elvis lives. Okay? People do not want to let go of this guy.
So does that affect his spirit?
Oh, yeah. All that energy holds him back. It keeps him here. He's like a fish stuck on a hook. He can't move on.
So you believe that Elvis is still here then?
Yes. Yes.
As our investigation came to an end, I was disappointed that we had no direct contact from Elvis Presley. Yet you could definitely feel his presence here in Memphis. Whether this was down to the love from his fans or the force of his spirit is yet to be decided. The king is dead. Long live the king.